think Gets Brewing's still in business. I'm gonna go ahead.
Alex, the Beer Master. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing an examination on, the other word. Today we're going to be reviewing Ducky's coffee vanilla deluxe. Yep. So I am looking forward to trying this. I had this for a couple months. Actually, Robert has had his for a couple months. So you really wonder if he got in the same store, but obviously he didn't because he's in another state. And I'm in another state.
I'm a long ways from Mr. Alex.
Yes. So let's crack into this. Do you have any, before you crack into this, is there any wording here? There is some wording.
Yeah, there. I can read it real quick.
Go ahead there, my friend. Please.
We brewed a layered dream, a sweetly soft, robust, elegant flavored beer with plush vanilla and De Mateo roasted Colombian tabby coffee. Then we let it mature in lovely whiskey barrels. Avec Deluxe, which I don't know what it means, Avec-wise. I'm not sure what they're referring to. It is made in Landvetter, Sweden. This is a Swedish beer. And I went ahead and took a moment and looked it up online too as well. But the ingredients are water, barley, malt, rye malt, oats, coffee, vanilla, hops, and yeast. And it is a 15%. If I can get that to focus.
Oh, yeah, it's 15%
by volume ABV beer. And it was a little pricey. I don't know what you paid for yours, but I paid upwards of, I think, almost $10 for this beer. Where I'm at.
Oh no, my bottle got for Christmas this past year.
Okay, so yeah, it is a very expensive beer. It's imported by 12% LLC, Brooklyn, New York, and they do some other. I've had a couple of Belgian beers imported by them. I can't think of the name right now, but they do import a more premium line from Europe. And anyway, but one curious thing I want to mention that I've seen on the website, and it pretty much follows what they say on the label, except they go into a little more detail. And the Tabby Bean coffee is from Victor Barrera in Colombia, the country of Colombia. And the De Mateo is coffee roasters, I think Gothenburg. They're in Gothenburg, Sweden. And they're the coffee roasters De Mateo. In the whiskey barrels, this is important, Alex. You need to listen right here. Pay attention.
Go ahead.
When we put the beer in a mix of peated and unpeated whiskey barrels, all grown up. Now, peated means, let me get back to the string right there. There we go. Peated means it's a whiskey that's got a heavy Islay smoke content. And for those who may not know, it's something along the lines of a Lafroig type of whiskey. So these barrels come from maybe Lafroig. I'm not saying it's Lafroig. It could be Ardbeg. There's any number. There's 8 or 9. I think there's 9 now distilleries on Islay. That and don't necessarily have to be an Islay distillery either. Talisker uses peated barrels, and various other ones do too. There are some, but what we should be getting with the peated, and I don't know if we'll get a note of it, but there should be an earthy, smoky texture in the background of this. So that may be something else that we should expect. Now, I'm not saying we'll find it because Lord knows they tell you all kinds of things.
That's true. And you said you've had this before, right?
No, I've not had this before.
Oh, you just had their beer line. You didn't have that.
Yeah. 12% is the importer. I've had other beers that's been imported by 12%, but they weren't Dougie's. They were from Belgium. I can't think of the name of them, but this is my first Dougie's.
Yeah, but so what other Dougie's beers there is? So I have to look it up.
Oh, there's several on the website. Yeah, if you look up the website, they got several choices. I mean, it's more. This is the first one I've ever seen, but they got something called Fudge, Little Trop. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 plus. So 20 and 4, that's 80 plus different things they brew. Now, it may not, they got more than that actually.
Probably.
But they got a whole bunch more. Maybe not all these are always, it might be like one-offs where they brew and they may only do it for a seasonal brew or something like that. I don't know what their, they brew a vast line of beers.
Well, this might be a seasonal. I don't know for a fact, but it might be because it's a winter version of it anyway. So it could be a seasonal, or it might not be. Again, it's the same with me and you. I've never tried Dougie's beers. Will we fall in love with it? We will find out in the next few minutes because, and if we do, I'm thinking maybe possibly hunting down some more Dougie beers and seeing if we can examination more Dougie beers if you don't mind, Robert.
No, I won't mind, but the problem is that this is the only one that I recall ever seeing. That's the reason I bought it, because I've never seen it before. I thought, well, this might be interesting. So I'll try new things.
Guess we'll have to find out, Robert. I mean, right now you saw that beer, but you don't remember seeing other beers of that company yet. So guess we'll have to see about that one. All right, let me open up mine. Dig on in there, Robert.
And I'm using my old Getz Brewing Company church key here.
Never heard of it. Getz Brewing?
Getz Brewing. It's an old church key, St. Joseph, Missouri. I got a box of church keys from my grandfather had left over when I never really went through them. And then here a while back, I went through a box of stuff of his that I got out of the shed and had a bunch of old church keys in it. Getz Brewing's one of them. I don't even know if it's still around. I couldn't tell you.
I'm assuming Getz Brewing is around your area if it does exist still.
St. Joseph, Missouri. So it's quite a ways, but it's still local in a sense.
Wow, Robert. You do smell the vanilla smokiness. Oh my God. Let me see what it smells like.
Yes. Oh yes, it is smoky.
Oh my Lord.
This is going to be a delight.
I think we might have to get a couple more bottles of this. Oh my Lordy.
There is definitely Isla. Yeah. If I hadn't read that, I would have been puzzled. I would have been going, why is it smelling like Isla?
It does smell like an olive. I'm like olive, like an olive, like olives, or like olive, like
not olives. Isla. Isla's the for me anyway. Isla's the island off the west coast of Scotland that produces these kind of smoky flavored beers.
Oh my God,
whiskeys.
So there's whiskey in this too, I'm assuming.
No, it's just it shouldn't be. There should just be the whiskey barrel. As whiskey ages, Alex, as it goes through a heat and cold temperature changes, the barrel absorbs little bits of whiskey into the pores on the barrel. And then as it warms back up, it releases those into things. So as it goes through its temperature changes, it breathes, basically. That wood kind of slowly breathes. And over the years, it kind of absorbs into the barrel itself. And so when you empty the barrel out and you reuse it to put like a stout beer in or something, those flavors are locked in those staves on that barrel. And so that beer absorbs a certain amount of those flavors. And in this case, it's getting 100%. You're smelling a basic Isla. I mean, it's not quite, you're smelling the remnants of an Isla whiskey in here. When you get that smoke.
Smells so good.
Almost iodine note. There should be like a little bit of an iodine note that I perceive. That goes
you smell that a little bit. Yeah, so I smell that, and I also smell what you, I
get just a little smokiness and iodine. Yeah, this is.
I have a feeling this is going to be a nice treat, Robert.
Yes. Good dark roasted malts. I get just a little bit of the coffee. It's laying around. It's not very dominant, but it's there. The vanilla is more dominant on the nose than the coffee is.
Yes. When you first open up the bottle, you smell that vanilla roastiness. Oh, my God. And you said sometimes you might not be able to smell that kind of stuff, even though they say it is. But it looks like they're saying it on the right way, and it's obviously coming out the way you were supposed to smell it.
Yes, it's definitely given us that.
No, so you did warn me though, Robert, that maybe I will not get that smell the way you'd want it. But as of right now, it's smelling just the way we want it.
Well, another thing we haven't gotten to the taste yet, or I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
It's barley malt. The ingredients are barley malt, and they used a certain amount of rye malt in this. So I've never had a rye malt. I know what rye whiskey and rye malt and rye whiskey should taste like. But in a beer form, I can't say as I've ever had a beer that's had rye in it, that's been malted into the beer itself. Oats I've had. It shows it oats. But I'm kind of interested, and I don't get no rye on the nose.
No, I don't even know what rye smells like. I don't know if I ever had rye whiskey.
How do I describe it? There's you've ate rye bread.
Yeah, I've had rye bread. Mm-hmm.
We know that flavor. Now, rye bread, and it'll have a little dill, sometimes a little mintiness in the whiskey. It has kind of this dill, minty, bright, light, bright. I know those are descriptors for colors and stuff, but it's going to lighten and almost. I don't know how. I just know bright is how I define it. I mean. It almost amplifies those light flavors into I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how to say that. But it comes across as light, minty, dill sometimes. Some depend on the whiskey. It can be more minty. Sometimes it's more dill. And you always have that light rye bread or dark rye, depending on how long they've roasted and the things they went through. So it can change a little bit. Blake's on here. Hey, Blake.
What is up, Blake? What is up?
Mercy Brothers. Oh, Dougie's is pronounced Dugers. Dugers? Okay. I didn't know that. It's a great brewery. They also contract brewing for Omnipolo. I don't know who they are. And then there's Patch of Heaven Farm. Hello, everyone. Hello. So, Dugers. Huh. Yeah. Anyway,
it smells pretty good.
Yep, I'm ready to get in.
I think it's time to get into the taste.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, there's the coffee.
Mm-hmm. The first thing you taste is chocolate, coffee, a little bit of
rye. Okay. As the coffee assaults the front of your tongue and the vanilla does, as it runs down the back of your tongue in the back here, there's going to be a sweet, intense, odd flavor. That's the rye bread. That's the rye malt right there. Oh. Think about your sensations back here. Your tongue, your tip of your tongue gives you a lot of your sweetness per se. Mm-hmm. As it goes down the back, you get a lot more sour and bitter notes. Slightly, sour's not. It's the best word I can come up with, like a cabbage patch, like a cabbage patch.
Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch, yeah, but not necessarily the flavor like the tropical fruit flavor, but just that tanginess back here. That's the rye malt. Right there.
And I like it. It's very tasty. As of this moment, I would get it again.
Oh, yes. This is so one-off and so unique. I don't get any 15%. This is 15%. I don't notice the alcohol myself.
No, there's no alcohol. No, there's no alcohol in this at all.
Uh-uh. That coffee and vanilla up front, though. And there's a smokiness, and it's smokiness that hangs around. I'm noticing it on the tops and side of my mouth. It's just gentle. It's not like it is in the nose. The nose, you get more of the iodine note. And mine didn't pour with just maybe a little stream bit of head. I don't know if you're.
No, just a little bit. See that?
Yeah.
See the edges. I don't know about yours. I see a little bit of yours as well. So you have somewhat. but this has more than yours. You know what
it is dark. You cannot see through it at all. Holding it up to the light.
No, that is jet black, as I said in other beers before.
And it has that shimmery motor oil. If you hold it in the light, let the light reflect off the top, it has that kind of shimmery, not necessarily the concentric rings of very colored motor oil gives, but that kind of shimmery motor oil look to the very top of it.
Oh yeah, I could see the stuff on top of the beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like kind of like a shininess, right?
Yeah, and more than likely that's the oils from the coffee. Because coffee gives off oils when they brew it.
Right.
A good cup of coffee will have a little bit of an oily texture to it.
So basically, whatever coffee they're using is a good coffee.
Yeah, it is. This was worth price of, like I said, I think I paid upwards of $9 to $10 for that bottle. It's worth every damn penny. It's not something I'd want to buy and drink every day, but I think once a month that would definitely be worth the purchase.
I am going to get Dougie's chocolate vanilla deluxe beer again. As of this moment, this is very good. Will me and Robert, we're not going off. I'm just saying, will we do this again in the future? Maybe.
Yeah, I can get more. We'll definitely. If you find another one, you let me know. I'll do my best to dig one up. I promise you.
What, another one of the same beer or another one of a different beer?
Different, the same brand, if we can. That would be fun. Okay. Same brand, but different beer. And it's pronounced again, Duggars.
Even though I call it Dougie's because we call it Dougie's.
Yeah.
It's
Duggars. Doggars. He's got an R in the end of it, so that's why I'm throwing that R there.
Well, no, because it's on the bottle it says Dougie's. It doesn't say.
Right. Yeah. But it's Swedish, and Swedish translation into English is
a different word. Yeah, there we go. I see some more stuff coming out of the bottle. Nice. Swim around there.
Around. I don't got much left as far as stuff.
Yeah, you can't guzzle this crap. I mean, I don't mean crap meaning bad, but you can't guzzle it because you'll be on the freaking floor. It's not what we want. This stuff, I don't know. Man, this stuff's phenomenal.
That rye is so unusual, the rye malt in this. If you ever have a rye whiskey and you think back to this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, maybe I'm thinking about doing so. I'm thinking about doing a liquor whiskey channel.
Corsair Distillery out of Nashville, Tennessee, they make a whiskey called Rye Mageddon, and they use a roasted malted rye in that whiskey, and it's a lot different than most rye whiskeys. In fact, it's my favorite rye whiskey. If I'm telling
you, I'm assuming you have it. Can I see the bottle?
No, I drank it. It's gone. I had it, but it's gone. I got a review up on it, but it's long gone. I got finished that bottle a month and a half ago, probably.
I'll have to take a look at the channel then.
But that's one of the, if you ever have something like that, you'll see the direct correlation between that and what I'm talking about on here. Trust me. It says, it gives me. Yeah, you don't want to drink a lot of this. I think you'd be a walking zombie after about 3 of them. I think that would.
Well, Robert, I agree because I think 1 or 2 or 1 will be good. Or if you want another one, you wait an hour.
Yeah.
Drink some water in between.
Yeah.
And then you drink another one. Unless you want to be drunk and tired and walking like a zombie.
Yeah.
Then go for it. You're not going to like it because you're drunk.
Yeah. You can't, and you're right, Alex, you can't guzzle this. This is a sipping and enjoying experience. If you guzzled this, I think that it would probably have a worse effect on your system. Yeah, I think you could overload your system too quickly with something like this. But if you sip on it and enjoy it, something like you would do with the whiskey, this is very enjoyable along those lines. Very enjoyable. This is, it's good stuff. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you get a little bit of the peat cask, you get a little bit of the rye malt, you get
So, Robert, can I do an intermission for a second? You could still talk, but
Go ahead. You can go.
I'm going to take a picture real quick because obviously we're going to drink this probably throughout my whole channel. We're not going to.
Yeah, this will be gone by the time we get off air. For me, anyway.
Well, like you said, no guzzling, because otherwise you'd be sick to the freaking gills, and that's not what you want. You're going to enjoy the crap.
The coffee is so...
Yeah, it's dominant. I can tell you that.
Yeah, the coffee and the vanilla, but then that rye malt comes in on the side, and you're getting just a little bit of that dark rye bread, that very heavy bready note.
Well, I'm gonna take a picture upstairs real quick. I'll be back.
Go ahead. I can float it while you're gone, Alex.
All right, my brother.
And then that rye malt's hitting it, and it's coming in on the side, and you're getting that. It changes complexity as it rolls over the tongue as you drink this. This is not a drink once and you get something and then it just never changes. This one stays. This one flows over the tongue. Very different sensations. This is really, if you guys ever see this, I don't care if it's $15 for the bottle. It's worth the price. This is an experience. This is not a macro or anything like that. This is an experience, and it's worth the price of admission for the experience, even if you only experience it once. I'm glad Alex talked me into this morning. I can tell you right now, I'm getting that little bit of alcohol rush, warmth. I call it rush, warmth that's coming back up. The alcohol's there, but you can't taste it. So anyway, let's see what's going on here in the chat. We'll get back to the chat. 15% alcohol. Y'all ain't messing around. No, we're not, John. Hey, Blake TV from A Patch of Heaven Farm. Blake, you guys going to review any vodka today? No, Blake, we don't review vodka. You won't. I got one bottle of vodka. It's shaped like a football. The bottle is, and I took 2 drinks out of it, and I'll probably never drink it again. John and Illy, I'll take that challenge. Alex, send me one, and I'll guzzle it. Yeah, you could guzzle it. I don't doubt that, John, but it's not worth guzzling. You want to do something different. Mercy Beers, yeah, that's right. Keep out lookout for Scandinavian contemporaries such as Amundsen and Omnipolo, usually big ABV, either stout or sour. If I see any of those, I will definitely get them. Anonymous Coward, cheers everyone. Blake, laugh out loud. John, Blake, cheers Anonymous Coward. Anonymous Coward, clinking glasses. Ronald, hey Ron, it's nice to see you here. It's neat that you two are doing this. Yes, it is. I enjoy doing this with Alex.
Matter of fact, actually, we did do one, not on my channel, but we did do one on Ron Terrier's. Was it Ron Terrier or John's channel? It was one of the channels.
John's channel, Stout Sunday. I don't know if it Sunday before last.
Yeah, so I did do that, but I was going to do both channels, but I figured Robert and me decide, screw it. Let's do it Stout Sunday.
Ronald says, it's neat that you two are doing this. And John says, hey, Mr. Therio, hope you're having a good Sunday. Blake says, cheers, Ronald. And Ronald says, hey, John, yes, I just got back from major beer shopping trip to the Portland's metro area. Now, Ronald, if you ain't looked on one of the beer talks or whatever, you mentioned that the Fandango album was the only album you didn't have from ZZ Top. I sent you a picture one from my collection of albums. I got a small collection, but I do have that particular album in the collection. But I can tell you right now that I've had it 30, 40 years. I don't know. I've had it for a long damn time. The cover is kind of where you slide the album in and out. That cover on the top is a little separated. I think the glue failed finally along the top edge. But I do have that album. That's one of the 2 or 3 ZZ Top albums I do have.
Hey, Robert, but as you drink it, you do taste a slight alcohol, like slight.
I'm not, Alex, I'm not as susceptible to it probably as you are. You are probably a better gauge of that than me because I have too much high ABV alcohol in my life. I don't notice small. Sometimes when I say if this out, like sometimes I have a big stout with high ABV, and I'll say, well, it drinks like a 3% beer. What drinks like a 3% beer to me might be 6% to maybe you. Okay, so we got to take that into account. And I'm just, that's because my palate's just been saturated.
Well, you have to understand, you've done whiskey and beer way before I started doing this. So
yeah, I've been doing it for a while. Well, I've been drinking since about, well, at least, well, we'll just say for practical reasons, 1985, because that's the year I graduated from high school, but there may be some things predating that.
Well, that's okay, Robert. Everybody has their predating drinking.
Yeah. Well, when I went to Germany, there was no alcohol. There was no age limit on alcohol when I was in Germany.
That's what I'm saying. In Germany, you said you're in the military, or
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean that's different. If you go to Germany, that's different when you come to drinking beers here, because
by the time I got out, I was over 21.
Right, so it doesn't really matter. Basically, by the time you got back to the States, you were already over 21 and you were good. So
yeah.
But this beer is a very dessert beer. Again, I will get it again. I will look for more. I will look for more Dougie beers and see what we can do. Any more examinations? Not examinations.
Yeah, we don't want no domination beers. That might, like I said, that might bring the wrong crowd in here thinking what's going on here? They're looking for whips and chains, and we're just talking about beer.
Yeah, we don't want that. Thank you very much.
No, we don't.
Oh, Robert, you're awesome. But this beer is phenomenal. I will get it again. Let me see if there's any more other flavors.
Yeah, I've seen it at a liquor store on the south side of Wichita. That's where I bought it at. I don't think I've ever seen it at any of the liquor store in Wichita, but I do know last time I was in there, they still had one or two left. I also seen it at Lucas Liquor up in Kansas City. I didn't buy it there because I'd already bought a bottle by that point in Wichita. So I know they had it at Lucas Liquor in Kansas City, if they still do.
Well, I suggest that, as I've said before in the past, with other beers I've had you go get because you liked it.
Yeah.
I suggest you get those other bottles, and obviously I know you'll probably will, because every time I say something, you go do it. So, because
I try. I mean, I do the best I can.
Right, you try unless someone gets it before you. Yeah.
Right. But
I'm actually hoping one day we'll be doing the Big Ass Money Stout if we ever find that in your area. I mean, in my opinion, if it's not in the refrigerator, the next time you see it, if it's not in the refrigerator, even if it is, who cares? It's a dark freaking stout.
I need to answer this real quick, and I'll be right back.
Go ahead, Rob. What's up, John and Ellie? This beer is so good.
That was my son. I just let him know I'll call him back when we're done here.
Oh, he knows you're doing the stuff? Okay.
I don't know if I would. Well, we'll see, John. It's going to be a high rated. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see when we get to that point. Yes, it's going to be a very high rating because it's a very unusual. Don't look at this when you try this. If anybody was able to get this, don't go into it with the thought of you're drinking an imperial stout or any of the heavy stouts, because even though it does have the roasted malts and the stout flavors, there's an awful lot of other flavors incorporated into this. So even though it's probably going to get a world-class score from me, it's still not. It's not comparable. I can't sit and compare this because of the unusualness of it to, let's say, a CBS or a KBS or something along those lines. This really isn't that.
No, it's not. This
is very good. This is a buy. If there's anything I can ever tell anybody watching this, if you see this and you like stout beers, and you like flavored beers to some degree, this is a definitive purchase. Just buy one bottle just to try it. It'll
blow your socks off, basically.
Well, yeah, and it will open up your palate in new ways that you will never get from other stouts. This is not a normal. This is a very different. Those peated whiskey casks they're using in here, even though it doesn't show up intensely on the palate, on the nose when you first open it, once you work past the vanilla, it is sitting right there, just slightly iodine. The iodine does not show up in the palate, but it shows up on my nose. The smoky earthiness shows up on the nose, does not show up on the palate. You get a smokiness on the palate, but it's not that earthy smokiness you would expect from an Isla. But there's a good, slight, wispy smokiness that translates into the palate.
That is just, I don't know.
It's unusual, and
it's phenomenal.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm glad we did this, Alex. I really am. Thank you. That's why I sent you that after you said that, and I sent you that text. Let's get it done today. I'm so glad we jumped on this.
Because you were obviously excited because every time you opened up your fridge, when are we doing this? When are we doing this? When are we doing this?
It's been sitting down there for probably a month in the fridge, cold.
Yeah, but you didn't put it in the fridge unless I asked you to, right? Obviously, it wasn't in the fridge prior.
No, I had it actually after I had both that one and the other one we did on a Stout Sunday. I've had them in the fridge That probably been in the fridge 2 weeks. This has probably been in the fridge for a month. So,
so in the okay.
Yes, John. The beer is barrel aged. Let me get back to the comments really quick. Okay, John says based on the description of beer, you give it a 99 or 100. Laugh out loud. Unfortunately, I won't ever see it in Georgia. The limit for beer is 14%. Well, I mean, you never know, John. You know, you have not a guardian. You have a connection here.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a certain legendary that can actually send you some stuff, and he knows who he is.
And so the beer is barrel aged. Yes, John, it is definitely barrel aged.
Yeah, I honestly, John, if you can get this, and I know Robert can get it because obviously he can get it anywhere in his area. Well, in those stores he's told me about. If you can get this, John, or if Robert sends it to you, I'll be glad to do an examination with you as well. I'll be glad. It's a very delicious beer.
Yes.
And obviously Robert was excited to do this for a while, so
I will have to arrange it. There's two I need to send John. And I mentioned it in the past. I need to get off my ass and get it done. I'm sorry about that. Shouldn't have said that word, but I need to get off my bohonkus.
Hey, Robert.
Booty and get it.
You're done. Okay. It's not a kid's channel. You're good.
I know. I save all my heavy cussing for Blake's channel last night.
Oh, okay.
I get a little wild with Blake. He just inspires me. Blake he has a way of bringing out the bad in the Whiskey Scout.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're still a cool person, Robert. We all have our bad stuff, but have fun.
I wouldn't say cool. Weird is a more appropriate word. Slightly crazy.
Hey, Robert, is there any beers that you think I should try in your state? Obviously, I still need to give you my stuff, my address, all that. I keep saying that. I never do yet. But is there any beers you want me to try other than the Big Ass Money Stout that we're going to try to get in the future?
Actually, Alex, I think back east in New Jersey, you probably have a better selection of beers than I do here, other than local beers. And the only local beer was the last Stout Sunday, last Sunday that, I can't think of the name of it now, but it was brewed up in Lawrence, Kansas. Dang it, I can't think of the name of it now. But that was an excellent, excellent, excellent stout. Now, I don't know. Again, we're back to availability. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the availability of that one.
Well, Robert,
it is a seasonal release. I think it's a wintertime release for that.
If you ever find it, Robert, in the next few months, next few weeks, or whenever, just let me know, and I'll give you my address. Obviously, you want to send me stuff anyway, so I could try good stuff. But And then I have to find a way to send you stuff, and that's the problem. I still need to send stuff to other YouTubers like Brian and stuff because it's so hard though. And I want to.
The thing of it is, Alex, it's not a competition. We just do it because we love to do it and we love to share with our friends. If you don't never get around to it, I don't feel left out. I appreciate when people do. I just appreciate it, and that's just the way it is, and that's how.
And I still hang out with you, Robert. I still support you. I love you, so it doesn't really matter, does it? You're right.
Nope, it doesn't matter at all. It's not a competition by any means there. All right, let's get around to scores. They're probably ready for us to score this.
Go ahead, Robert.
You want me to go first?
Go ahead, my bro.
I'm going to give it a 99 out of 100. John's right. It's going to be a 99 for me. I'm not going to give it 100 because it's almost too far from what I want as a complete stout. But it's so damn good, and it is world class. For me, world class is 95 or above. I know Ron's is 100 or above, and I very rarely go. I don't know if I've ever went over 100 because I just don't know. 100 is the best to me. So 99 is just one brief degree off of that, and that's just because it's an unusual stout. Other than that, this is definitively world class. This is definitively a buy if you see it. That is.
That is true. Just to say this, if you are in the Roberts area, because I know he can get it. If you are in Roberts area or my area, please come along and do it because this beer is good. Like I said, it's the first time that me and Robert have actually had this beer or actually this brewery. Mm-hmm. So, and as of right now, it's been phenomenal. And I don't know. It's just.
What you gonna score it, Alex? Give us a number.
Just a loss of words, Robert. I'm going to give it a 99.
Yep, that's a more. I agree with you. It's an extremely fair score. It's right there. It's world class. It's great beer. It's definitely a palate. It's definitely a palate. Open. I don't know. That's not how I want to say it. It definitely opens up your palate to different flavors that you don't normally get from a stout. That rye malt in this is really, honestly, so strange and weird and good that I just can't do it. Yeah, you knew it, John. You're right. John's right.
Hey, Robert, it might ruin it a little bit. I'm just having a suggestion here.
Yeah.
Do you have any rye whiskey anywhere near you to pour a little bit in there just to see what it tastes like?
I've got rye, but I can't pour it in there because I'm empty. I have no more left.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not going to help.
Yeah, I've got rye. I got Old Overholt Bonded rye. I've got Wild Turkey rye. I've got Jack Daniel's rye. I got several rye whiskeys to choose from.
I'm sorry. I didn't guzzle mine. I'm sorry.
I didn't guzzle mine either. I just drink a little faster than you. So, anyway, well, are you ready to wrap it up, Alex?
Yeah, I'm just going to finish this with you, and that's it. Okay. I'm going to finish this drink with you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it'd be kind of weird.
That's fine. No hurry. Oh, shit.
Till the wife says you got to go.
The wife ain't going to say nothing till I run upstairs, and then she'll tell me. She knows what I'm doing. She listened to me talking to you on Marco, so she knows what's going on.
Oh, so she knows what's going on downstairs. Okay, you're good. Yeah, yeah, that's true. And you know what? As you've drank it, it obviously feels warm. Like I feel like freaking warm, like literally.
That's the alcohol. What you're feeling is the alcohol rising. And I mentioned that earlier. You become flush. It creates a flush feeling, which warms you up. At 15%, you should be getting that flush feeling. So I've got it. It just creates a comfortable, warm, flush feeling.
Unfortunately, it's not a good warm when it comes to being in the summer, though. It's a good warm when you're.
Well, I'm in my basement. My basement's always cold, so
you're good then.
Yeah. It's probably only about 64, 65 degrees down here. So I still run my heater occasionally in the evening when I'm on with Blake or something. I'll have my heater going down there because it gets kind of cold to me. But
and just another thing is, Robert, it's also creamy too. I don't know if you've
Oh, the mouth. Oh, yeah, we didn't address that. The mouthfeel on this is definitely creamy. It's thick. It's kind of slick in the way it lays on your tongue. It's definitely got a good heavy mouthfeel to it. You're right. I'm sorry we didn't address that.
What is up, Craft Beer Pours? I got my good old buddy here, Robert. He is drinking this beer with me. It's over, but obviously I'm finishing mine.
Yeah.
We're drinking this. If you can get it, please do.
I'm out.
Yeah, he's out.
I'm out, Brandon.
But I love it. I love it. I'm getting this again. I love creamy beers. I don't know about you, Robert, but
Yes, they're nice. It's mouthfeel and texture is part of the experience. If you took that away from this, let's say this was very watery, I wouldn't give it a 99. I'd probably give it somewhere in the 96 range. But because that heavy, creamy, thick mouthfeel it has that goes with it, that develops the flavor and the taste. That gives it that 99. I mean, again, I think that the only reason I take one, I'm not taking 1 point away. The only reason it doesn't increase that 1 point is I'm looking for, you're calling it a stout.
It doesn't even say a stout, though, Robert.
Yeah, it says a whiskey barrel aged imperial stout. There on the bottom. And as an imperial stout, it's not quite. It's not quite. It's too flavored to kind of make that last notch for me. That's why it doesn't get the 100, and that's the only reason. As far as beer goes, if I was to judge this without the stout on it, it'd be 100 out of 100. But if you're going to call it a stout, it's got to have just a little bit of more of that roasted quality. That's not necessarily the coffee flavor that they add to it. I don't know if that makes sense to what I'm trying to say, but that's the only thing that keeps it being 100. I'm about to start drinking. That's for damn sure. Yeah, John. I'm going to go fishing later with the little ladies, so I can't drink no more. I got to drink some water and eat it.
Yeah, he has to drink some water in between before he doesn't get too buzzed.
Yeah, I got to go. I'm going to go catch bait and go catch some catfish, and then I'm going to let my wife fry that catfish up in Louisiana style like she does, and I'm going to eat.
But I have a feeling that you're going to bring one of your whiskey bottles so you can do a review. Robert. I know you're at the back of it.
Alex, you can't give away my review techniques.
Disregard that. I'm a little buzzed. That was a lie.
It's all right, Alex. It's all right. You're right. I'm going to I'll take my camera equipment. And it doesn't always work out, even though I do a review while we're out fishing or doing something like that. Sometimes little things when I get back and I actually go into the edit portion, I've had times when I've got home and for some reason my mic didn't work. So I have to delete the video and I can't use it. So, but I'll definitely make an attempt to. Sometimes there's too much background noise and it doesn't work out.
I mean, you don't want that. You want it to be just a lake. You just want it to be just you, even though you're fishing there. Right. You just want it to be quiet, just like any other video I've seen that you've been at the lake. I'm assuming you're fishing there at the time. I don't know.
I will probably go to a river or creek in this case.
I think it was a river or creek. I thought it was a lake. It looks like a lake, but it doesn't mean it is.
It's water. We'll leave it in water.
It's water. And I honestly, I also like the stuff that you have, the old-fashioned cars. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah. When I find them out in western Kansas, a lot of times that's western Kansas when I'm out there. Farmers tend to park old trucks, old cars, and they sit on the edges of the fields and they just sit there and rot. And it's fun to figure out what car it is because sometimes I have to I know a few old cars and stuff, but I don't pretend to know them all.
Right.
So I have to actually research and do a little diligence on it. And once I figure out what car I've got in front of me and the original picture of what it should look like, because generally they're old rusted wrecked hunks of metal.
True that.
Or some are really still in fairly good condition. They've just been parked and left to rot,
Which doesn't make any sense. I mean, yes, Kansas is a big land, a big state, and it's a lot of farm, and I guess you'd figure, hey, if you go onto farm lands or I have, like in New Jersey, there's farm stuff. So I'm assuming if you go all the way into the pinelands and the farms and stuff, you could probably find old rusted cars, because that's what they like to do for some reason. I don't know.
I'm sure New Jersey's got them. Any state that's got a lot of old farms, a lot of old farmers, they're going to have a certain amount of derelict vehicles laying around. And you'll have a certain amount of derelict old houses that nobody lives in that, in Kansas, a lot of farms are handed down generation to generation.
Right. Family to family
Yeah. But for instance, my great-grandparents' farm, which we no longer have, and actually have tore down the house since then.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, that happened after it was sold. But I loved going over there because they didn't have, the farmhouse was old. I mean, it was, my great-grandparents lived in a farmhouse that the refrigerator and electricity that came to the house was added after. They still had the old fittings in the side that came up it ran on I can't even speak. It ran on propane or natural gas, and they actually lit in each room a little small natural gas burner on the wall, and that provided light for the room. Mm-hmm. Now, they came in after electricity was introduced in the 30s to that part of Kansas, and they wired the house with electricity, and then you have electricity. But she still had the old cold lock boxes. It was fun going into Grandma's kitchen. You had the new refrigerator over here, which was not new in 72, but I mean, it was still new per se.
Right.
But you had the line of cabinets, and this whole wall, the whole north wall, was nothing but cabinet doors that opened. And some of them were old freezer boxes. And what it was, you opened the cabinet door and you would put the block of ice in the bottom. You would put the grate over top of the block of ice. And that was what they used for refrigeration in the 1930s and the 40s. And I think they probably used it up to the late 40s before they finally made the switch to electricity in the 50s. They were kind of late getting around to it. They were, I don't know. But it was fun to go through there because back then I didn't know what I was looking at. Now that I'm older.
Well, you were a kid then too, Robert. Right. You were a kid then.
Oh, yeah. We'd go upstairs. Upstairs didn't have no heating, no cooling upstairs, but we slept upstairs on old springs and thin little mattresses laid on springs. And the windows would be open in the summer to let the air flow through, and you could hear all the cicadas and locusts and everything else that was making all this noise. And it would get so loud, tree frogs and stuff, because they lived down on Otter Creek. And the noise would, at night, you would think everything's quiet and silent. Oh, no. The noise there during the summer would be intense. I mean, just this loud, I'm going to use a big word here, cacophony of just all of this noise that would just assault you. And you could I would lay there and just stare out the window to the south and just look out across the South 40 on the pasture there where you had the cows. Anyway, we're going back to nostalgia here.
But no, Robert, see, it's good to go back because obviously you still go there to obviously you know.
I can't. My great-grandparents passed, and then my grandparents. And anyway, long story short, it's no longer in the family. They all sold everything. And
well, that would be trespassing if you go there now.
Yeah,
but it's good that
there no more. The new owner tore it down and built a brand new house on the side.
That sucks. Well, of course, that's how you get
progress.
Sorry, just laundry delivery.
It's progress.
Yeah, as the saying goes, in with the old. I mean, out with the old and in with the new.
Yep, exactly.
Basically, what you're saying, and we're also live, Laura.
Okay, I'm just dropping off your laundry.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, she's good. My wife makes me fold my laundry.
Yeah, well, my sister.
He's spoiled.
My sister's awesome. She's been awesome for as long as I can remember.
She is. She's good.
This beer has been good, very delicious, and like I said, Robert, thanks for joining. I'm not saying we're leaving right this second, but
we leave when you're ready, Alex.
Thanks again, Robert. It's just awesome. It was an awesome stream, and I like talking to you about your history because it's freaking amazing. I never know what's gonna transpire when I talk to you, Robert. That's what I like about you.
I got a lot of stories.
True that. And it's a shame though, because it would be nice if because obviously, when did it get sold? When you were your age now, or
I was much later in life when it all got sold off. But
then you had the power to buy it. Then if you
no, I was in the military when it was sold off. I didn't.
Oh, okay. You're talking about
as a private first class in the military. I had not the fundage to buy a farm of that size.
Oh, you're talking about in the 80s. And okay, well that's okay.
I couldn't have bought it if I wanted to.
Yeah, so obviously it was before your marriage and stuff. Okay, I know that. I'm sorry. I thought it was like
no, it's all right. It's all right. I'm lucky. I got to meet great grandparents on my mom's side, and I got to meet my great grandmother on my father's side, which was really nice. I mean,
well, to tell you the truth, I met my my mom's mom. I think it is. Yeah, my grandmom. I met her mom. I think it was grandmom. I guess I could say her name, right?
It's up to you. It's your choice.
No. I mean, she's passed on. She's passed on.
Right. Just keep it to yourself. It's better that way. Good memories in your brain, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I can always tell you when we get off air.
Yeah.
But I had my great grandmother. So I met my mom, my grandmom's mom. So I met her. She passed away in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've heard some rumors that house is haunted. Because it was back in the 1800s, the Army, like Civil War, used to live in that house.
Oh, really?
Honestly, there was. I wanted to go upstairs. To the next floor but for some reason something stopped me from going up there. I don't know what it was. Maybe because I thought it was haunted. I don't know. I didn't feel nothing. But
I've never been a haunted person. I've never been a spooky person like that.
Well, no. I'm just saying I don't know what made me go up there. Maybe I go up there.
I just personally, I've never been that way. I'm just not.
I should have went up there. All it was is another porch or something. But I don't know what made me stop. Maybe because I knew the house was haunted, but it wasn't gonna. They're not gonna hurt me. These soldiers. I've never seen them. I don't know. I really don't know.
Thomas Meadows on here now. He says, "What happened, Alex and Robert?" Well, Alex and Robert tried this, and we both gave it a 99 out of 100. The Dougie's Coffee Vanilla Deluxe.
Yes.
And if you see it,
please get it because it's a very phenomenal beer. Obviously, me and Robert are going to look for more Dougie beers. Dougie's beers? Is it going to be delicious? This I don't know. We'll find out in due time. But this beer is good. But I will definitely say that me and Robert will get this beer again, and maybe several months to a year we'll review this beer again. But we will definitely review other Dougie's beers because
it's a Swedish stout, and it's the first Swedish stout I've ever had. And I can tell you, if this is an example of what Sweden does with their stout, it's a definite plus in their direction.
And I'll tell you this much: if there's a Dougie's IPA, is it going to be as delicious as this stout? I don't know. We'll find out, right, Robert, or whatever we're trying.
Oh, wait, man! I still got the Dougie's website up.
All right, Robert.
Our strawberries, candy too. Yeah, they have a 15 IPA that's 7.5%.
And you said strawberry too, didn't you?
Yeah, the strawberry I think is a sour. Yeah, it's a single fruit sour series called Strawberry.
But would you?
Oh, I would definitely do a sour. I love sour beers.
So you would definitely be up on it if I find some more Dougie beers.
Oh, if I could find the sour, I wouldn't. It would already be in my possession. I can tell.
Well, actually, come to think of it, why don't we do ourselves a favor right now? Not me, but per se. Why don't we look up the the two stores you go to now. See, do they have a website?
Mine don't do that. In Kansas, you can go to the state website and it tells you exactly what's available that stores can sell and can't sell.
Right.
Now you got to understand it's relevant per year. They don't keep last year's. They did. I don't know if they deleted. I don't know. But when you look at it, what I'm going to see is 2020's availability on all alcohols, be it beer, wine, or liquor.
Okay.
And that'll be for sale. But that's not reminiscent of what happened in 2019. There could have been things for sale in 2019 that are no longer for 2020. And I don't know if there's a way to access that. I haven't never explored that actually. But because see, I find things like, I find occasional alcohols that are not on the website for the state of Kansas, but they have been available in the past, obviously, because they're selling them in Kansas. It's just not something that's updated because it was maybe only sold for that year or two. Then after that, it was no longer sold.
True.
And mainly this applies to scotches. So
basically what you're saying, Robert, is that you're finding beers or whiskeys that have not been in stock for 2 or 3 years, even though they're still there.
Yeah, whiskeys are different than beers. Beers mostly expire, so you have a tough time locating them.
Well, I mean, honestly,
this could 15% on this unrefrigerated. This could last for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, but Robert, it would have to be the 15 or higher stouts to last for many years.
No,
what's that?
12%. Usually 11
or 12%.
Yes.
So it has to be 12% or 15% or higher. It has to be one of those things. If not, if it's an IPA or something like that, it's going to taste nasty. I've already experienced that.
After about a year and a half is not going to be the same as it was 3 months after it was born on.
Because it's an IPA. It's nasty. And I've learned my lesson. Obviously, you and my other YouTube friends have ball busted me, and I ball busted myself about I kept Christmas beers that are IPAs for a year and drank them. I mean, so I have a right to be ball busted because
you did what you wanted to try,
I gave it a try, but it wasn't as good as it would have been several months before.
Thomas, if you'll go right up to the very top, the one guy asked, well, I don't know if it's up there anymore, but the one guy says it's pronounced, oh yeah, it is, Mercy Beers. He goes, it's pronounced Doohgers, Dogers, something like that. So it's not pronounced Dougie's like we are, but we're Americans, so we go.
Do you realize, Robert, that I drank this out of 2 hours because I started this stream around, what time did we start the stream?
Well, it says live 57 minutes, 53 seconds. So we're almost an hour in. So
we started this around 11 o'clock, 11. No.
Yeah. We started around 11:02.
11:02 your time because I think I don't know if you're the same time. I don't know.
Right.
So, but either way, this lasted for me for an hour because I started this around in 11:40s range time, and I drink this up until 1:03. So
yep.
I did not guzzle this. Like I said, I enjoyed the crap out of it.
And like we said from the beginning, it's a sipping beer. This is meant to be enjoyed and sipped and enjoyed. It's not meant to be guzzled in any means.
No.
Good stuff, Alex.
It is good stuff, and I'm going to look for more of this stuff. And obviously, you're going to do the same, Mr. Robert.
I will.
Because obviously, we will get this again to review in the future, not right away, because obviously we just did it. But we will definitely, while we're getting these beers from the Dougie's Brewing, I'm guessing it's a brewery, right? Dougie's Brewing.
Yeah, it's okay. I read it off earlier. Brewed and bottled by Dougie's by Gary Bryggeri by Gary, Sweden. Imported by 12% LLC, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, because it was imported to New York, and you can get it around here. So
importer.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting more of these beers, the Dougie's beers, including the coffee beers, so we can review them again, Robert. But I'm also looking forward to trying other flavored beers from Dougie's and seeing if we can review them. I think it'll be freaking amazing. So there might be more streams with Robert and me, regardless if
All
it's
availability. All
depends
based on availability.
Now, what's probably going to end up happening if I cannot find this, well, I can find this again, but if I can't find more Dougie beers, what's probably going to happen if we're going to review beers together when it comes to Dougie's, Robert's probably going to end up sending them to me. I'm hoping not, but if that's the case,
you're going to have more availability than me, Alex. I'm not kidding you. Back east, you guys get so many more beers than we do in the Midwest.
Well, I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's why I have you as a obviously I keep you as a friend no matter what. But I'm just saying as a backup, just in case. I mean, you never know. But yeah, I think you're right though on that one. So that it might be I might be the one that might be sending you the other Dougie beers, not the one that we're drinking now.
Right.
But the other Dougie beers, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I really am. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, what we should do is look up where we can buy Dougie beers in New Jersey, what other beers we can get around here. So this way I can get it and possibly get two and maybe send to your way if you cannot get that beer. Right. If you cannot get the beer, I'm not going to waste money if you can't.
You send it my way, Alex. I'll review it with you for damn sure.
Right, but that's all depends if you cannot get the beer. I'm not going to throw it at you.
Right. No, I understand.
Because it's special in a way.
Well, it's from Sweden, so it's an imported beer. You're only going to get whatever they import to the United States. And then again, after that, you're only going to get what they import to your state, depending on your state, your local state alcohol boards. And every state has them. And
are you looking at it?
You've got to carry it, and your middleman's got to supply it to the liquor stores. And if your middleman doesn't want to carry it because there's too much overhead and not enough
demand.
Not enough demand and profit to be made. Because I can get stuff that says it's available, but the supplier, Kansas is broke up into 3 different regions.
Go ahead.
And each supplier, each middleman there's like 2 or 3 what we call middlemen or the suppliers that supply to the liquor stores in each one of those regions. West region is a little different than the South region, which is a little different than the North region. And a lot of those times, even though it says it's available on the state board, it's only one supplier that's carrying it. So he's carrying it. It's got approved, but none of the other companies carry it. So you might only find 2-3 liquor stores in the entire state in that particular northeast or southeast or western section that actually carry that alcohol. So it's weird.
It is weird, and I've obviously experienced this with you in the past 10 or 15, 20 minutes. We've talked about this Dougie's beer. You can get it
right
in both those stores, but if you go somewhere else, you most likely will not be able to get those beers.
Well, the other store, when I say Lucas Liquor in Kansas City, it's actually on the Missouri side of the line. It's not on the Kansas side of the line.
Okay, so they have different laws.
Right. Missouri's a total different ballgame than Kansas. And I don't pretend to know Missouri's laws.
Basically, what we're saying that there's different, I'm guessing, I don't know if this is correct, but I'm guessing there's different governors. Like North Kansas is another governor. And then,
No. There's only one governor for the state of Kansas.
Okay.
But the supply chains are broke up in basically three sections of Kansas. If you see Kansas, think of it as a big square. I know we got this little beveled edge up here where the Missouri River flows through. But you have northeast, southeast Kansas, which are on 2 different supply. One of the suppliers supplies both. One of the suppliers will actually supply to all 3. But you've got 2 suppliers out in western Kansas that do not supply to either northeast or southeast Kansas. If I'm thinking of this correctly, if what I remember. I haven't looked at this in probably 4 years.
Okay, well, that's a problem.
So, but you do have a set of middlemen or suppliers in northeast and southeast Kansas that are different from each other. We do have one that is on all 3. the Great Plains, and they supply to almost all the state. But they're the one that they carry probably the least variety of alcohols. The other ones tend to be more specific, I guess. Maybe one's more spirit specific versus beer specific versus wine specific.
Also, like more whiskey, because whiskey, rum, I think whiskey, rum,
vodka, gin
is a spirit.
Right. Then you've got another one that's going to be more beer oriented. Another one that's going to be more wine oriented. So
now, yes, I know we got off topic, but we're still in the topic. When we have the beer, because obviously there's stouts, there's whiskey stouts. Like for instance, this is kind of like a whiskey barrel aged beer.
Yes.
Does that fall into the whiskey version as well?
No. That stays in the beer. It's a malted beverage. It stays in the beer side. It doesn't stay in the spirit side. Usually 40% is about the cutoff for that. Anything 40% or above is considered a spirit. Anything like 20 to 40% roughly is considered a liqueur. Then when we get under 20%, depending on whether it's a beer, wine, or liqueur, because even liqueurs some come in under 20%. Depending on whether it's a beer, wine, or liqueur, that's a whole different ballgame. And we last year, some laws were passed in Kansas that kind of reorganized how things are sold. Used to be at a grocery store, you could only get 3.2 beer or less. You cannot get 3.2% alcohol or more at a grocery store. Now the law's been passed where they can sell, I think, any beer. They don't sell much in the way of wines under 10%. I think maybe 10% might be the cutoff. I'm not sure. I don't know the law, that particular law. I do know they're selling higher ABV alcohols in grocery stores than they did before, but they're still not selling 15 to 20% wines. They're still not selling liqueurs or alcohol per se. It's still just beer oriented, and some of the sparkling wines that wind up down around 5 to 7% alcohol by volume. So, but it is a significant change. The liquor stores fought the grocery stores on this law for years because they didn't want to lose that 6% beer market, and they was afraid if that law got passed, everybody would be buying their beer at the grocery store instead of going to the liquor store after the grocery store before they went home. So, and I can understand a certain amount of that, but they still can't go buy a bottle of Jack Daniels at a Walmart or a grocery store. Those things are not available there. You still have to go to a liquor store to purchase that, or even a Jägermeister or any of them.
I've had Jägermeister. I've drank a couple of them, and I've gotten a little bit too buzzed, but not because just them. I was drinking beer and Jägermeister, and I've gotten sick maybe twice, and I've never gotten sick again because that's enough. I'm not getting drunk like that.
John. Hold on, John just gave us a True Seeker said cheers a little bit ago at 12:04. At 12:12, John just said, "Dang, I went to take a shower. Y'all crazy mofo still alive." Yeah, we are.
Hey, Robert has to go soon anyway.
Yeah, I do really have to get off here in a few minutes. So,
but we can have some crazy, awesome conversations.
Oh yeah, well, I don't mind talking about, when you ask about availability versus what's available in Kansas versus New Jersey, and I don't know your laws in New Jersey. I've never bothered to look them up or anything, but you're going to find that I've always, usually in the Northeast, it seems like even with Bumpy and Brandon at Craft Beer Pours, and you guys are able to get a lot more craft or independent brewers out there than we do here. I mean, Kansas, we still get them out of Missouri. We still get them out of Colorado. Certain small amount from both Nebraska and Oklahoma. But most of the craft beers that we really honestly get are within Kansas, Missouri, or Colorado.
I mean, but I want your opinion, Robert. and if you can look this up for me real quick, I want to know how far is, because like I said, I'm trying to get Big Ass Money Stout, and they said I went to.
I think I don't mean to be. I think you just probably ought to not worry about that anymore. I don't think it's ever going to be made again.
No, but
I think we're done with that.
Regardless, so I don't care what it is.
Right.
It's the 17%. I've asked one of my beer people in one of the liquor stores. They said they can order it for me, which was a couple months ago.
Right.
But I want to know, regardless, when I have, well, obviously it doesn't matter when it comes to you. You're going to try to find it and you're going to bring it to me. But beyond that, how far is the laws when it comes to 17%? Like,
no, there's no law. As long as anything above about 10%, you're going to have to go to a liquor store in the state of Kansas to get. And it doesn't matter whether it's 10, 17. If they made a 20% beer and it would be available in Kansas, you would be able to get it at a liquor store. There's no percentages like there's in Georgia where John lives.
For all our states here, not Georgia, but all in our state. But I want to make sure my laws are the same as your laws.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know how New Jersey goes. It's something you'd have to explore and figure out for yourself. I mean,
so basically what you're saying is Georgia is a totally different thing.
Georgia's a different. John's the one. John's made it. I think John said it's like 11 or 12% or something like that in Georgia. 14% maybe. What was it? I don't know if he said it up there earlier or not. I know he can't get some of the higher proofs. It's just not available to John in Georgia just because of the way their laws are laid out.
Right, because they're like a dry state or something, or
no, not a dry state. They just have weird laws, and every state's different. Again, I have to emphasize that to you, Alex. Every state's different, and even in like Arkansas, for instance, I know Arkansas. Some of the counties are dry in Arkansas still. I think, if I remember correctly.
Because I know you can get 7%, 17% or 18% beers. Well, I don't know about 18%, but I've experienced with you with 17%, which is the Big Ass Money Stout. Right. So I know for a fact you can get 17% beers. I know that for your state.
If you can find them, you can get them. As far as when that guy told you he can order that, I want to tell you, Alex, straight up, these guys at liquor stores, and I've been doing this for quite a while now.
Go ahead.
They will tell you things they want you to hear, even though they can't possibly do it. They will tell you things they want you to hear because they want you as a returning customer.
Yeah, but they're going to have me as a returning customer anyway because
not always. There's liquor stores I won't go back into. There's liquor stores that's pissed me off that I won't step into for no matter what. I mean, there's two things I hate. I hate a know-it-all attendant that walks up to me and goes, "Well, what you looking for?" Now, I have a vast knowledge of whiskey, and I'm going, "Well, I'm just looking at the whiskey." "Well, what do you like this?" And pretty soon I'm going, I actually told one time, "I have thought more about whiskey than you'll ever know, so please leave me alone." I was rude and I was mean, but he just wouldn't stop.
But what you need to say, I know, I understand that. But my point is, when you go to a liquor store and they ask you, "What are you going to risk? What kind of whiskey?" You're going to have to say nicely, I know what whiskey's all about. I could prove it to you. Look up Robert.
I'm not going that far. I don't got an axe to grind like that.
No, I'm not saying you have an axe to grind. Not saying you have an axe to grind, but I'm just saying, if you do not believe me,
I don't care if they believe me or not. I know what I know, and
but it pisses you off. Obviously, they pissed you off.
Well, that guy did. That guy pissed me off bad. And that's because there's a lot goes into that, Alex. I don't want to.
Well, Robert, if you want to talk to me about that, we can talk about it.
No, I don't need to. He was just saying things about certain whiskeys that weren't true, which means he never drank the whiskey. Then he's trying to dial me into a whiskey that he thinks I'm going to be interested in, which I'm not going to be interested in. And when I finally broke down and told him that, and I looked at his selection, I said, "Really, I've got almost everything you've got on the shelf here." And he looks at me cross-eyed, and he goes, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "Dude, really?" if you go to my channel, you're just seeing a taste of what I got behind me. That's not.
Oh, so you did tell him that? Okay, there you go.
No, I didn't tell him that. I'm just thinking that.
Oh,
I'm thinking that while I'm talking to him, But that's neither here nor there, Alex. I mean, there's a lot of them that work with me. I explained to them I run a blog and or a YouTube channel, and Burgart and South Wichita, love them boys. They like to see me coming in there, and I like to go in there and chat with them. I mean, if I don't,
they're the kind of people I like. They're the kind of people I like, Robert. They're not being a jerk towards you. They're being friendly with you, no matter if you know about whiskey or not. They're the kind of people that you want to be social with. I'm not trying to be mean.
Right. When Bumpy did that Ice Bock beer, that's the first place I went. And I got to talking with the one guy because he knows a lot about beers. And he goes back and he does on the computer, he verifies with the state of Kansas what's available. And he comes back to me and goes, man, you can't even buy an Ice Bock beer in the state of Kansas.
Uh-oh.
That's why I couldn't get one for Bumpy's review there. I mean, it's not even available in our state. But
well, at least you tried to order it.
Yeah, no, you can't order it. It's got to be approved by the state board long before.
No, I'm saying at least he tried.
Oh yeah. That's why I said I go to Burgart. Those guys know a lot. Those guys probably know more than me, and that's fun because I can learn from them when I go in their store. I can't always do that in a lot of little stores I go into.
Well, yeah, I think you should go to that big store because apparently you get along with the owners or whoever.
Yeah, those are good guys.
That is good. So that's awesome. And what kind of beers or whiskeys you've got from there? Obviously, they helped you out.
John says 14% is the cutoff. And then he goes, Robert, you should get a job in a fancy liquor store as a fun retirement kid.
If you want my opinion, Robert is kind of like the J.O. of things here. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but it's the truth. J.O. knows a lot about whiskey in his own way. And Robert here knows about whiskey in his own way. I kind of like that I'm actually friends with two people that know about beer and whiskey. It's just freaking.
I'm still in the learning phase. I learned from
everybody's in the learning phase.
I learned from a lot of people. I started this, about a year ago with John and Neely on Stout Sundays because I always kind of like stouts. And I was real hesitant about joining John because I was scared I wouldn't be able to. It's not like whiskey. I was still in the learning phase. And so even though you enjoy drinking a beer per se, to sit there and actually pick it apart and know the fine points of a beer, I don't know all that. And I've learned a lot from John and Neely. I've learned a lot from Ron Therio. I've learned a lot from thrash metal. I've learned a lot from Bumpy and all these guys. I mean, and you included it to some extent, Alex. Yes, you included. And it's been a great journey. And I still look forward to learning more about this. So.
I'm looking forward to it too, Robert. I honestly, because like I said, I see I'm Alex the Beer Master. It's all fun. And I tell you, I don't know everything. I tell you that all the time. In the beginning, I used to say on my channel, I don't know everything, and I don't. Everybody don't know everything. I'm just learning, and I call myself Alex Beer Master because my niece, as a joke, it was Alex Beer Master. I said I'm gonna run with it because
it worked. It worked, Alex. It's you, Alex. It's you. It's
me.
You say Alex the Beer Master. We know who Alex the Beer Master is. Everybody does. That's you. That's great.
I mean, you've seen. I have to get the mug back. It's actually at my other house, but. I haven't even drank that mug yet. You know, the mug I showed you, it's called ABM, and welcome to my channel, the one I got for Christmas. I mean, obviously, I have a glass that I drank out of before. Well, obviously, what happened was, this is the second one, the mistake one, but with the Alex Beer Master, that's right.
Okay.
But the first one, with the clinging of the glasses, you saw the beer and it's flowing over in the beer bottle, in the beer glass. What happened was a couple months ago, and I don't even think I was drunk. I don't remember. I remember I was just cleaning the glass. And when I cleaned the glass, obviously when I tilted up, it hit the freaking
Rim.
no, it hit the rim on the from the shower, not the shower, the water head, and it just shattered. Like it just fell into each other. And I had to throw it out because
it tapped your spigot, what we call a spigot. Well, there's an outside spigot, but we call it the spigot that comes from the thing that actually feeds your water into your sink. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it tapped it, and it was it. I turned it, and I tried to lift it up because I was rinsed it out, and because obviously I like to do this to make sure the water's out. I put it up, and it hit it, and it just broke.
Well, Alex.
So it sucks.
All right. Well, Alex, I want to read a few of these more comments, and then we're going to have to jump off.
We're going to sign off. You have to go. You have to go.
We're at an hour and 20 minutes, and that's a very long live stream.
I'm sorry, Robert. Me and you can get.
No. It's no apologies. No apologies. It's okay.
Go ahead, Robert.
Let me read from John Anile. I think I left off with Robert. You should get a job at a fancy liquor store as a fun retirement gig. Yeah, I thought about that, John, actually. Kyle says, cheers, y'all. And John Neely says, I drink a lot of whiskey, Alex. Does that count?
John drinks a lot of whiskey. Well, you do the same thing, so you're not in this.
Yeah. And I think I said Kyle says, cheers, y'all. Well, John says, cheers, Kyle. Then John goes, I'm flattered, Robert, but I'm no beer expert. I just like to drink beer a lot. All you need is a beer and a basic understanding of the English language. Laugh out loud. And then he goes on to say one more time, I think Alex is feeling the 15% right about now. He's chatty Cathy.
Wait a minute. Robert's not innocent here either. Robert is not innocent. He's not innocent either. He's drank the whole freaking beer too. Come on. He's not innocent either.
Oh.
Take a look at the freaking bottle. He drinks the same beer as me.
I know. I did. There ain't no doubt about it. All right, Alex, let's jump off here. I'll let you sign off, and we'll go because I really do got to get ready and do some things to get.
I know your wife's waiting. This is Alex the Beer Master. Thank you, Robert. We will, like I said, discussed before in the conversations prior today. As of past few minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour. We will be doing some more. We will be doing some more of these brewery beers, hoping in the next couple weeks to a month, whenever we get them. And it was a good beer. But again, I appreciate it, Robert, and I'm looking forward to
welcome
more series of that if we do. Either way, it doesn't matter. So we will do some beer reviews no matter what. So this is Alex the Beer Master. I will see you all on the next live stream and next video. And stay tuned for more Whiskey Scout beer reviews in the future with me. It's Alex Beer Master signing out. And thank you, chat, for joining, by the way.
Yep.
Okay. Bam.